And welcome back to the Aussie Screen Printers Club, the podcast that's aimed at least a little bit of talking about screen printing in Australia.
G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of the Aussie Screen Printers Club. Here with Sam again. Excited for another episode.
Yeah, I've got a pretty cool guest today, Josh. A lady screen printer. We need more of them. We need more lady screen printers. I'm sure there's plenty out there. Get in touch if you are, and we'd love to hear your voice on this show as well as all the blokes. All right, come on. You've moved premises, haven't you?
More or less. It's
Okay.
a bit of a work in progress. But yeah, we've moved most of our stuff last week. So that's pretty cool having everything in one spot now. Well, most things in one spot now. We're still waiting for the actual warehouse part of it for the builder to move out of there so we can put all our production stuff in there. So we've just got sort of the embroidery and heat press side of things and all that set up in what will become our like showroom, I guess. And screen printing still in the shed at home. So we're a little bit more together, but still a little bit, in two places.
I did see a reel you put up moving the embroidery machine, lots of forklift action and a flatbed truck. It was pretty hairy.
Yeah, it was. It's a bit sketchy picking it up from one end. We had to sort of get some flipper forks and stock it up with pallets and strap it to the forks. So yeah, it was a bit fun picking it up from the side that it probably shouldn't be.
All right.
But we got it moved in the end. So it actually wasn't as bad as I thought. We smashed it over. That was nice doing it at a reasonable time of day, because when we moved it, I was still at the farm, so we did it like in the middle of the night last time. So we finished, and it was like after lunchtime. Sometime I was like, pretty cool.
Pretty
You still
neat.
do other stuff. Yeah.
That's all right. And so you've got, obviously, you said you got your press, so you got your ovens and your exposure unit and those sorts of things to move next when you
Yeah.
get that warehouse. Any sign of when you will get the warehouse?
He was moving some stuff today actually, so I'm hoping it's probably the next sort of 6 weeks. I think it's probably not that soon, but I'm sure it'll go quickly.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We
How's
had a
things been with you?
pretty quiet. Like when I say quiet, we weren't quiet printing. The guys would be very angry with me saying that. Been full on with the printing. No major things to report. Did I tell you we got an ink mixer?
I think you said why you were getting a ink mixer. I don't think you'd got it yet.
Yeah. So that came in and is just brilliant. And it's one of those things, isn't it? You think, oh no, really? Come on, you don't really need that. But when you get it, you go, wow, why didn't I get this earlier? I know that's a cliche, but it's so true. So that was really neat. And
Is that a Jones Brothers one, like the Chinese from them, or?
No, it's an American one.
Okay.
Called Revolve Ink, I think it is. I forget the manufacturer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We got it out in New Zealand.
Okay.
Had 2 left and got a little bit stung with the customs duty people, which I found a bit annoying. But yeah, not. So I find it a bit annoying in that they don't just charge you the GST, which I'm cool with, of course, but they slap on all these other fees, which is just like, what? Come on. So that was a bit annoying, but anyway, yeah, and it's really cool. Like I went out and used it a couple of times, and
Yeah.
really neat. Other than that, I can't think of anything really outstanding that happened. We're just flat stick out there. Guys have been doing longer hours, just trying to get ahead of the curve. You know, you kind of start working through your orders each week, and you get to like end of Wednesday, and you're like, oh, we need to ramp it up to get clear of these ones and a few urgent ones coming in. But yeah, order book is really full, but we're coping, which is good.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Well, dear Chantal, if I've got the pronunciation right, Roberts from Inked by Chook is faithfully, patiently waiting in the waiting room. So shall we bring her in?
Sounds good.
Let's do that.
How you doing?
Welcome, Chantal. How was your week? What have you been up to?
Yeah, really good actually. Actually, not a lot of printing, just a lot of meetings with people, and so it's really picked up this week. And all of a sudden, I've just got a heap of phone calls and interest, and so that's been a really good week.
You find it
Yeah.
goes like that? You might have a kind of quiet bit, and then it just goes crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I thought, oh, haven't got much on, and then Tuesday it just went crazy. So yeah, no, it's good.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's start from the ground up. Tell us who you
Yeah.
are. Tell us where you are. Tell us your business name. Tell us all about you.
Yeah, I'm Chantal, and I live in Yamba. And I started printing back in, 94. I left school and started an apprenticeship. And that was with a company called Soul Sports. And we mainly printed basketball uniforms, a lot of sporting stuff, bit of bread and butter stuff. And just went off from there and did it for about, probably 5 or 6 years, and then had the kids but still dabbled. I was printing fabric and making babies' bibs, all sorts of things like that. Never really got out of it, but now my boys are getting older now, so I thought I'll get right back into it. And it's just starting to take off. It's really good. Yeah.
And so you started your own business, and Inked by Chook.
Inked by Chook.
Inked by Chook.
That's it.
Yeah. Tell us why you came up with that name. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, Yamba's a pretty small town, and I'm known as Chook. I don't get called Chantal very often unless I'm in trouble. But just one night it came to, I have another business called Chookadoo, which is an earring business.
Oh, wow.
And I also make little screens that you can print on polymer clay, and that's called Chookadoo Ink. So once I decided to do my screen printing business, I wanted the Chook name in it, and Inked by Chook just came to me one day, and I thought I'll go with that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so how long ago did you start Inked by Chook? Was that a few years ago?
That was Inked by Chook has just started in March. So
right.
Very fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been selling the little screens I make since probably 2 years now. Yeah. So I think I've got one here. I know. Where are they? Yeah. So they're just basically a little. I tension the screen on a self-tensioning screen, and then I just cut the screens up.
Oh, wow.
And you can print on clay. You can print on polymer clay.
That's really neat.
Yeah. So there's a few things going on.
So just for those that are listening and not able to visualize that, that's a small, how big, kind of A5 screen that you've pre-burned?
Yeah, I've just burnt it onto with some mesh, and people with ceramics might use them. Earring makers. So I've been dabbling in a little bit of different things. So
that's really cool.
Good. Yeah,
that's really cool. And you're in Yamba, so important question for me is: are you printing with water-based ink?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, because you've got a bit of humidity at Yamba, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I started off printing water-based back in when I did my apprenticeship, and just always loved water-based. And I do have plastisol here, but mainly I really like the fact that you can use super cover and you don't need a white base and most of the time, which is good. Yeah.
So even on a dark garment with a bright color, you don't need the underbase.
No, I've been pretty good. I haven't had to do an underbase as yet, so yeah.
Handy.
How you doing? So no, I did work with plastisol a lot as well, but yeah, no, I prefer water-based.
Is it the soft hand feel you like, or how to manage the
Yeah,
ink, or?
yeah, I do like the feel. Yeah, though I've printed a lot of shirts for my son's band, and I do use plastisol. I just feel like it's longevity. Plastisol seems to feel a bit more sturdy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know whether it actually is or not, but I tell you what,
yeah,
water-based ink's a lot easier to clean up, isn't it?
that's right. Yeah, especially working in my little garage. Yeah, it's a lot easier.
Tell us about your garage. What have you got in there? What kind of kit have you got?
At the moment, I've just got a Gilro 4-color 3-station carousel,
Yep.
and I just brought that second hand, and yeah, I love it. It's the registration's great on it. Yeah, I pretty much always use Gilroy, but yeah, it's yeah, no, it's been pretty good. And I've also got a little two-station 2-color press as well. So yeah, they just
Sam,
basically do. Sorry.
Sam, you had a 3-station press at the start, didn't you too? It's a bit of a
Yeah,
funny combination.
We had a what was it? We had a Chinese press, and then we moved to Ad Tech, I think it was, and it was a 4-head 3-station press.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know why there weren't 4 stations. Like, like it was just wasn't that there could be a 4-station or anything. There were only 3, but it took a little bit of getting used to. But it's a good press for sure. But I've never printed on a Gilro. They're pretty good. Have you had one of those, Josh?
Yeah, I've got a Gilro at the moment. Yeah, it's great. I wouldn't. Sometimes I've got like joystick micros, which take a little bit of getting used to, because there's a little bit of slack in there that you have to sort of account for when you tighten up. But yeah, it all helps. But it seemed like a great press. A lot of people who've had even like different brands and have had like the old trusty Gilro will always say they always loved it compared to even sort of some of the more well-known brands.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've when I was at TAFE, we always use those as well, and yeah, I just found them really strong. And yeah, once you get them in registration, it's a little bit hard at the start, but once it's in, it doesn't move for me anyway. Yeah, but it's I picked it up pretty cheap actually. A girl with no experience decided to buy a whole kit, and yeah, she had a go, but it didn't work out. So so she sold it to me pretty good. So
Wow,
yeah, I was happy with that. Yeah,
good break
yeah,
to get that. Yeah.
yeah. I just had to drive up to Brisbane to pick it up, and yeah, basically had a whole setup then. So yeah.
So you started in 96, you're doing apprenticeship, you worked as a professional printer, then you, as it were, took time out to have kids, and now
Yeah.
you're back. Has things changed much in that time?
Oh yeah, a big time, especially with uh, direct to garment and all that sort of stuff. And the artwork side of things are a lot different. I'm still sort of trying to pick that up. My husband's been learning Illustrator a bit, so that's helping me. So he's I haven't got a very good attention span, so he sits up there and reads and researches everything, and then explains it to me in the terms that I can understand. So
Well, have you
yeah,
got his
that's
number?
helpful.
It sounds like you'd be useful.
Yeah.
He's swearing a lot. He's up here cursing.
So he's kind of
Yeah.
learning it, and you're actually doing the Illustrator work, or is he using Illustrator to output the films for you?
Yeah, he's just separating the colours for me
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So and yeah, and I'm down in the garage printing it, and hopefully he doesn't get too sick of me, and he'll keep helping me out. But yeah.
What's his normal work? What does he do?
He's in spare parts. So
Right.
yeah, but
Very
he's
different.
pretty cluey on everything really. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Amazing.
I started printing my son's band shirts, and he that's what really got me back into printing. I was really enjoying that. So I thought, yeah, once I once I advertised, I just started getting customers straight away. So it's been good.
wow. You just hit the
Yeah.
ground running. Wow.
Yeah.
And how did
So
you
it's been
advertise? What did you do?
just mainly on Instagram and yeah, just word gets around here pretty quick. And also working, I work in a few different places, the motel and bookshop, and just talking to people really. And
Get the word of
yeah,
mouth out there, and
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
How big is Yamba? I've never actually been there, but people rave about it.
Yeah, I think we're up to about 2,000 people now.
Mm.
Maybe more, a lot more than that. Yeah, I just can't think
Yeah.
offhand, but yeah, I've been here for 20 years now, so almost a local.
You're well known. You know everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. And
Are
so
there
things.
any? Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
just go for it.
Are there any other printers in Yamba, or is it just you, pretty much?
Yeah, they're funny story actually. I worked for a few months with the printer here, uh, and it was a bit of a coincidence. I started printing again, but I didn't realise she was moving out of town. And pretty much the day I started printing again, she left town just to another suburb not far from here. And I sort of messaged her and said, "I'm really sorry. You can see I've been doing a bit of screen printing. It wasn't. I didn't realise you were leaving, but she was pretty good, and yeah, we can. It was just bad timing. It looked like I was jumping on her, um, but no, we've been pretty good. We sort of pass things to her, and if they're too big for me, and yeah, it was, yeah, it just looked like I was yeah, ready to pounce.
Just
Yeah,
waiting in the wings.
just wait.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you say if they're too big for you, do you mean like in terms of the size of an order or the complexity of the print or both? Or
Yeah, mainly the size of the order.
yeah,
I'm actually haven't got a dryer yet, so I'm still just flashing it and then using my press. So
using the heat
yeah,
press or something.
yeah, heat press.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping to get a dryer pretty soon. I've been looking at Leapfrog and things like that.
Mm.
Yeah. Now's a good
Yeah,
time. Obviously, end of financial year.
yeah,
Give old Howard a ring as well because he often
yeah.
knows things that are coming up that he
That's
hasn't got
right.
on the site. You know,
Yeah, I can't believe Howard's still around. He was around back when I
is
was.
that right?
Yeah,
Howard, if you're
yeah.
listening, you need to retire, mate. You've been around too long.
Time to throw it in.
He's died in the wool with it,
Yeah,
rusted in. It's awesome. His knowledge
yeah.
is phenomenal. Okay, yeah,
No,
well, that'll make a big difference, I think, when you get a dryer in terms of the speed of production, for
that's
sure.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, it should be good. Currently, half the garage has my son's car in there, so he's getting his license in October, so we'll get that out and get the dryer in.
get the dryer. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
that's kind of stopping me at the moment. Yeah,
It's a good thing about water. I mean, there's a lot of good things about water-based ink, but one of them is that you can let them air dry and then, dry
that's
them,
right.
put them through a tunnel dryer, which you
Yeah.
can't do with plastisol. So how long would you heat press one of your prints for, do you think?
Well, usually I press them initially for about 40 seconds, and then I'll do the whole lot, and then I'll come back and I'll give them another press. So usually I try to press them for about a minute.
Yeah,
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 yeah, 160. So
yeah,
I sort of let them cool down a bit and then give them another press, and
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So hopefully I'm not doing that too much longer.
We used to do that. That's what
Yeah,
we did. Yeah, we had a flash dryer. In
yeah.
fact, it was a bit weird. What did we do? A bit embarrassed to say this. We had like I don't know what you call them, but when people bake little cakes or even big cakes, they put them on
Ah,
them to sort of
what's it called?
stand up like a kind of grill. There's probably an
Right.
important technical
Yeah.
term for that. We used to have a couple of those sort of bolted together, lay the t-shirt on it with the dryer on top with a forced air dryer, splash.
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
but we found that there are often bits at the top or the bottom of the print that weren't fully cured. And then we got
Right.
like yourself, we got a heat press to do it. And we did
Yeah.
that for, quite a while,
Quite a
several
while.
months. And,
Yeah.
It
I
kind of
do have
works.
2 heat presses now, so that's
Right.
helping. I've got one doing the
Exactly.
front and the back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
right. Genius.
Yeah.
Get the husband in there.
Yeah. What about you, Josh? Do you have what sort of dryer do you have?
I've got one of those little blue ad techs.
Oh, that's what I
I
was
think
looking
that
at. Yeah.
everyone, it's such a common dry, but they just
Yeah.
keep going. I think everyone's started with one of them and passed it on, and
Yeah.
but yeah, they're a bit of a unit of a machine. They're just pretty easy, just do their thing. So they're
Yeah.
great one to start with, definitely.
I think that's
I
what
mean,
I'll
you can
look at.
usually
Yeah.
find one floating around somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'll keep an
Mm.
eye out for one of those. Hopefully it's not too long. Yeah.
Guys, I will
How's the
just say,
hand?
oh, sorry, before we go much further, I'm going to have to take a phone call shortly. I'm really sorry,
Sure.
but
No
we'll just
problem.
keep the show going while that happens.
Yeah.
But I'll zip away and come back.
Yeah.
Yep.
No
Tell us
worries.
about the hand. I didn't even ask you about your hand. Where are you up to with it?
Me?
Yeah, you remember
Oh
you
yeah.
smashed up your hand.
I've got my cast off now. Took it off, came off last Tuesday, and I've been abusing it ever since. So it seems to be keeping up.
Yeah.
So came off on Tuesday, and then we moved everything on the Thursday. So
Oh, gee.
copped it a bit, and we're moving stuff on Wednesday too. So, but I had an appointment yesterday, and she's like, "Oh, it seems to have come good pretty quickly. I've still got a few weeks, and it doesn't bend properly yet, but I've just been using it as normal, and
Yeah.
it tells me when to stop because it hurts like a
I can imagine.
You can hold a
Wow.
squeegee and pull a squeegee, all right?
I think I would be able to now if I can. I've got one of those I've got those ergonomic squeegees that you can sort of hold on both sides. I think that'd be the best rather than sort of traditional squeegee. So I'm keen to get back into it again.
Yeah.
'Cause, miss it.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. The how are people learning these? There's no tape. They still doing screen printing at tapes now, or that's a thing of the past?
Not here. I don't
Not
have
here.
that here.
Yes.
No.
No.
Jody from Dark Label, they've got someone to do an apprenticeship through, I think, which I thought
Right.
was interesting because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't really see it as an option
No.
around, or if it is, it's sort of bundled it with some other sort of graphic thing, but I don't know
Yeah.
if it's that intensive in the actual screen printing part by the looks
Mm,
of, because I looked at it a couple of years ago and couldn't
right.
really find anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to TAFE for 3 years. Back then it was a 3-year course, and so it was 4-year apprenticeship, 3 years at TAFE and 1 year on the job. So yeah,
Wow.
so it's a shame it's not happening so much anymore.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
I feel like, we, the screen printers, really need to kind of stand up and make some noise about our
Mm,
industry to try and get more going, collectively,
yeah.
to get people enthused in it, because it's an amazing job.
It is. Yeah. I've loved
know.
it. Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
not necessarily going on to uni and you're at school and you don't want to be an electrician and you like art, or you don't want to be a plumber,
Mm,
it's
yeah.
perfect. Like, it's
That's
really
right.
Mm.
good,
Yeah.
And so I feel like
Yeah.
we need to, shout from the rooftops a bit about it to get
I
people
think so.
into it, because it's kind
Yeah.
of hidden, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't know. I wanted to be a fashion designer when I left school, and
Wow, that's cool.
yeah. And my dad sort of said, "Oh, you need to find a job pretty quick after school." And I seen this advertised, and it said opportunity to design as well. And I thought, so I snapped that up. And no, from day one I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you were back in the day, come on, tell us, you were using rubi-film and things like
I
that. Is that
was.
right?
Yes, yeah. I
For
still
those,
am now. To
I
tell you
only
the
learned
truth.
about that a while ago,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure everybody knows what it is. Do you want to explain it?
Ah, so yeah, here's one. did the other day, but it's just hand cut ruby. Actually, it's just so it comes on big rolls, and you just cut out the bits that you want to block. So you just like it does it now on Illustrator, but you cut it out yourself. And yeah, so it's your second colour. It's my second colour. This is a 3-colour job. And I just cut a bit of a bleed in it. And yeah, it's just really quick. I love it.
It's red because the red traps the ultraviolet. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. And it also comes in like an amber colour as well.
Right.
And I've always preferred the ruby. But yeah, we've used that a lot. Yeah.
And
I'm still here.
You still like using it. I mean, it's got
I
that
love
artistic element in terms of actually
Yeah.
physically cutting it and
That's
so on.
right.
Yeah.
That was my favourite part of the job back in the
Wow,
day.
okay.
Yeah, when the boss would say, "Oh, you've got a few things I want you cut out," I could go up in the office and I wasn't getting dirty.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, I've even where's my son's band wanted like an old school sort of rough look, and I cut it out in ruby, so it had that old look about it. Yeah, here it is. His band's called Kill Switch. So
Oh, right.
yeah, so we used to do posters and everything with it. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Is it hard to come across or find to buy?
I still buy it from Leapfrog suppliers.
Huh?
So yeah,
Sick.
yeah. I'm probably the only person that buys it. It does when I when I order it comes, it's all dusty.
They're gonna looking for it.
Yeah, it comes in like a tube. Yeah, and
Wow.
yeah, it is pretty dusty when I get it.
So that's
Yeah.
Can you
Leapfrog.
put it?
Well, there's my phone call, guys. You can talk amongst
Okay.
yourselves if you will.
Sure.
Sorry about this.
No worries.
Awesome. Does it come like? Can you cut it like vinyl? Like put it through a plotter? So
You
it, like,
can, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's another way you can do it. Yeah.
Right. And then you just have some sort of like registration mark to
That's
line up
right.
if you're doing multiple colours.
Yeah. Yeah, just when I've just got the little crosses on the sides there. But
Oh, okay. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, so that's all we used for a few years. And
And you just use like a little
just a little
Stanley knife type
blade.
thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
just a little cutter. Yeah, just your little, and you just
Okay.
put your artwork down. Yeah, and cut. It's quite therapeutic. Good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
why
that's
you can,
great.
yeah. It's so how do you go with your artwork? Are you learning a lot, or
I'm a little bit the same as you as far as Illustrator things. I can do what I need to and
yeah.
slowly getting better of it, but I haven't got a background in it at all either. So
Right.
but I use it every day. But it's just one of those things you've got to just kind of figure out. But
That's
there's
right.
so many different things you can do or different ways to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky enough to have a graphic designer. So I sort of palm off as much as I can to her and she sorts it out because otherwise, I'm spending all sorts of time on it.
Right.
Yeah. But even as far as separating, like we'll separate the like up to sort of 3 or 4 colours
Right.
ourselves. But if it's sort of going to take a bit of time, we just outsource it. Because you can all of a sudden you've been sitting there trying to do it for how long, trying to just get it just right. But so that's been and it's been a hard part for me, not coming from that sort of background. But
that's what I find the hardest. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I do. I've got 3 friends that are graphic designers here in Yamba, so that's
awesome.
That's helping me out. But I had my first half-time job a few weeks ago, and
How did that go?
It was fine. Just had a few days of going back and forth with my friend, and
And she did the half tones in there for you, so you could just print it out.
So I just printed out. So that was pretty easy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
it was for a plumber. He didn't understand. He just had his business card and he
Mm.
wanted it. And I said, "Oh, do you have the artwork?" And he said, I've got it done in England." And yeah, I just sent him straight to the graphic designer and said, "Could you sort that out for me?" Yeah.
And they
But
just redrew it and
just redrew it. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
find that sort of your main market, like the sort of trades and that sort of thing, or a few different things?
Yeah, mainly a few bands and tattooists. Had a couple of those, and cafes.
Okay.
Yeah, just got a good job for a gin distillery. So
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
so I'd
Local
like to
one? Or?
stay a local one. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they make gin, so I'm really hoping to stay in that sort of little niche area, but I'm happy to do other things as well.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's because it's very touristy in Yamba, isn't
it
it?
is. Yeah.
We went down there. Oh, last time I was there was like
Right.
the week before COVID
Oh,
hit,
geez.
and like we just got back and
Ah.
everything like shut down like the next day. That was like the very last place we went before all that hit.
Right. Yeah.
But lovely spot.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I live in a suburb just out of but called Woolawaya. So
Okay.
it's
Is
near
that just
Gowrie.
there? Oh
It's
yeah.
just in Gowrie. It's just probably same postcode. It's just
Hmm.
in the national park. So
Oh,
it's a
nice.
really good spot. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice to screen print in the garage. You got the bush and everything outside. So yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
is it pretty cold in there at the moment with winter or?
It is getting cold, yeah, yeah. I was actually pretty hot. I just finished my motel job, so I was running around, and now I'm just sitting down. It's gotten a bit cold.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. That's trying to juggle the two things at the moment. Yeah, getting.
So you're doing some other stuff at the same time as printing.
Yeah, I'm printing 2 days or 2 to 3 days a week, and then some night times, and then 4 days at the motel, and
Hmm.
have my earring business as well. So
Awesome.
yeah, just juggling a few things at the moment. Yeah,
Yep. Those
yeah.
screens that you do for other people for the clay, how do they come? Is that like it
Yeah.
comes as a screen and then you coat that too, or is it
So
how does that work?
yeah, so I found these little screens just on eBay, and they self tighten. They stretch the mesh. You just have to screw the frame, and it
Okay.
stretches the mesh. And then I coat it and expose it like usual, and then cut it to A5 size. And
Right.
the earring makers that I make them for, they don't use ink. They use acrylic paint. And
Okay.
yeah, you just use a credit card and swipe.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah,
And
it's
you don't have to have like a frame necessarily to keep.
no,
Okay.
it sticks onto the clay. The clay's sort of
Right.
a bit sticky. Yeah,
Oh, it's still like wet, I guess. Like
yeah, it hasn't
not
been cured. It hasn't.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, and then they so yeah, you can print on earrings then and cut them
Ah.
out, and then just bake it in the oven. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have to use a certain emulsion for that, or just
No,
the
I
same as
just
what you use?
used, I think that was a Ulano emulsion that I used on
Uh-huh.
that one. So, yeah, it's just basically just how we normally expose the screen. The only difference is I cut it up. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I was.
it
So,
it doesn't like shrink once you cut it up. It doesn't like all
no, it's
go.
pretty good actually. I just
Okay.
cut it with a knife. And
Yeah.
yeah, also potters use them as well. And they've got another sort of I don't even know what they call it, but yeah, they use them to print on mugs and things like that. So
Mm.
yeah, it's a sort of bit of an untapped market.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then do the people send you their artwork and you do that, or you sort
I
of
have
supply
done
a
before.
design?
Yeah,
Okay.
this one's I just designed myself, but yeah, I have done custom designs for people before. Yeah,
Okay. That's really
yeah,
interesting. Yeah, it's a different little thing to usual for still
it
screen printing, I
is.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I started making the earrings during COVID, and once I found out you could screen print them, I was like, oh, this is good. Yeah, I think the only other
Yeah.
people that were making them were over in Switzerland,
Wow.
over
Okay.
that way. Yeah, so yeah, it's been really good. Yeah,
Very interesting.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Haven't. So
oh, sorry, go on. I'll keep
no,
interrupting
you go.
everyone.
No, that's fine.
Apologies for having to take that call. That's
No problem.
very
Yeah.
unprofessional.
No stress.
I was going to ask you about, starting out in business. Like you learned how to screen print in the good old days, as it were, where
Yeah.
you really learnt the ropes, and now it's changed quite a bit. You got
Mm.
yourself started, but in terms of like starting the business, was presumably all new to you. Like you had these other businesses as
Sharing it.
well, but
Yeah.
yeah, how did you go
Uh,
about finding out how to run a business?
oh, I'm doing a scheme. It used to be called the NICE screen. You do a course, and then the government pay you a certain amount of money each week to
Wow,
build your business up. Yeah. So yeah, I
that's
found out
cool.
about that, and um, I took the opportunity to do that. So
Is that an
yeah,
Australia-wide thing, or is that
it
just in
is.
South? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm just trying to remember the new name, but it was Nice. Yeah.
I
And
think I remember a shirt show podcast with an Aussie. I want to say it's almost like it might be aisle 6 or something. I don't know. Don't
that's where
quote
I
me.
found out about. Yeah.
Australian,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think they might have started with a similar thing, possibly.
Mm.
Um, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So that's almost finished now, but it's been really helpful just
So they
having that
give you
little.
training and give you some money. They train you on how to run a business, do they?
Yeah, you do a course, small business course, and that takes I think about 6 weeks.
Wow, yeah.
And yeah, they just show you how to register your business and get your ABN, and yeah, and you've always got support there to talk to someone as well. So yeah, it's been really helpful.
Gosh, I didn't
Yeah,
even know that was available. That's phenomenal.
yeah, and that's yeah, Australian wide. So it's a good thing to take up if you. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
working 3 different jobs. I was just thought, oh, I need to just stay in the one place for a while, and I thought, yeah, starting a business would be good.
And any
Yeah.
reservations about doing it? Or were you just like, no,
Uh,
let's get this done and learn it?
yeah. Oh, it's like a roller coaster. Sometimes, oh, this is great. Then I think, oh, but now I'm getting a lot more confident with it. And yeah, yeah,
What
um,
advice would you give to others trying to start their own business? Not so much with the screen print side, we'll come to that, but
yeah.
like just the business side. What do
I'd
you,
just say, yeah, back yourself up, and yeah, believe in yourself a bit more, because
yeah.
yeah. Um, I'm a pretty shy person. I find it hard to talk to customers and things like that, but I'm getting a lot better, and yeah, and talking to people, and yeah, so that's a hard part for me too, having meetings and things
Yeah.
like that. But yeah,
And especially
yeah,
when, at the moment it's just you, running the business as well as doing doing the printing,
yeah,
finding time to do meetings with accountants and
Mm.
banks and all the rest of it
that's right.
can be very
Yeah,
difficult. Do you find yourself working late at night?
yeah. I feel like I don't stop. I feel like I'm just think, oh, I better do that quote, or yeah, I don't feel like I relax as much as I used to. I think
Yeah.
starting that, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's horrible, isn't it?
It's been pretty smooth. I've only had one little hiccup. It was one of the first jobs I did. I had a job for like a go kart team, and they already had sponsors on their shirts. and there was a little space I had to print a sponsor's name, and it looked beautiful, and I pressed it and still looked good. And a couple of weeks later, I got a phone call, and the lady that ordered them said, "Oh, the previous prints we had, sponsorships have gone brown, and they looked great when they left the house, but I don't know what happened in that time, whether the ink, the it was dye migration that's come through later on." But I was ready to kick it in then. I thought, oh, yeah,
It's hard when you hit those things early on, and they do make you think, "Oh, I don't want to do this. It's stressful." But was that a polyester garment, perchance?
They were, yeah.
So it's just dye migrated, and I hear that garments can dye migrate like a month later.
Yeah, they looked great when they left. It, yeah. I was so happy with the print. I was showing everyone. And when I got the phone call, my heart just sunk. Oh, but she was pretty good about it. And so that was a bit of a learning curve, how to deal. Previous places, the bosses have dealt with that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I always get a little bit of like a heart attack when I get a phone call, like after the customers picked up their stuff or a few days later. It's always they've like placed another order or something, but for a split second there, I'm like, oh, do I want to answer this phone call straight away to mentally prepare myself just in case?
That's right. Yeah.
Those things can get easier over time.
Yeah.
It's hard not to take them personally. I think I talked about this before, but we did have one this week. What was it? Oh, that's right. The customer hadn't updated the color of garments, so we printed a whole ton of garments, and they were like 12 or something that were meant to be a different color, and they were wrong. And my colleague was really perturbed about it, and I could see she was taking it personally. And but at the end of the day, it's a customer, it's a financial transaction, and it's a business.
Yeah.
And so in truth, there are only a few options available, unless the customer's trying to pull one on you. That's different, I know. But then we offered to do a reprint and try to upsell, which probably wasn't a good thing. But in the end, we just refunded them half the money for those ones, and that actually was much more suitable for us, and they got a slightly better kick. But there was that moment when we thought, that sense of customer complaining kind of thing.
Yes. I've always had a hard time with mistakes. I've always taken them to heart, and it's something that I'm quite a perfectionist. So that's always pretty hard when something goes wrong. Yeah.
I think that's a really good trait to have as a screen printer. I think it's a really bad trait to have as a business person.
Yes.
Not that it's a disaster for you or anything, but like managing the business is so different to doing the actual screen printing. I always just think business is about making business decisions that obviously hopefully help the customer and allow you to produce a good product in our case. But the actual perfectionism is down to the people that do the product part. So try not to take it personally would be my advice on that, but it's difficult.
That's right. It is hard.
Very difficult. So just going back to when you got started, you kind of hit the ground running, and you accessed your market by word of mouth and so on, and you've got your Insta. We're a follower of yours on Insta. Great.
Oh, good.
Videos. Yeah, terrific.
Oh,
and it's in tell us the name of the Instagram handle that you have again.
Inked by Chook.
Inked by Chook. So we can go.
People
can go and follow Chook or
Chook.
calling it Chook.
No, that's right. Everyone calls me Chook.
They can go and follow you there. What's your plan in terms of moving beyond word of mouth? Getting orders further afield than Yamba. Do you do orders further afield already? Maybe you do.
I will. Yeah. I'm going to do a website soon, and my big love is bands. I love doing music stuff. My husband and son, they're both in bands, and I'm hoping that might get a few people my way. But that's my big love, is printing band stuff. Yeah.
And just sorry, got to stop and ask husband and son both in bands. Let's ask the
Yeah.
question: what kind of music are we talking about? It's fun.
Oh, everything heavy stuff. Yeah, I love 90s grunge mainly, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah, wow,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Actually, yeah. They're all in bands and ride skateboards. So yeah, it's all the stuff I want to print.
perfect
So
for you. Yeah,
yeah. So the boys send your mates work my way.
yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, what's your plan? You're going to get a website. You've got your
With
Instagram page. Have you got a Facebook page as well?
Facebook page as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be so. It's mainly my family and friends really seem to comment or follow on that. So
yeah.
yeah, I haven't. Yeah,
And are you
used
planning
it
to do
much.
some advertising as well through those channels?
Yeah, I think I will soon. Yeah, yeah. At the moment, I'm really enjoying just having like 2 to 3 print jobs a week, and
Nice.
yeah, I'd like to build up. But at the moment, it's a really nice. I don't really like to have people wait too long, or
Mm.
yeah, I like to have the job done, like a turnaround about 2 weeks, and
Yeah,
yeah, I don't like to rush. Is being a perfectionist.
yeah.
I'm a bit of a slow printer. Yeah,
That's okay. I mean,
yeah.
I think getting it right is everything. I
Mm,
also think that's a pretty good turnaround. You know, like a lot of people
yeah,
be much, much more than that.
yeah,
You hear horror stories all the time of, how long it can take some printers to feel like there's a kind of pipeline that the moment it gets full in terms of number of orders going through,
mm,
all that happens is if you can't control the speed of that, it just gets longer and longer. In terms
yes.
of it's going to take 3 weeks, can take four.
Right.
Mm.
I think that's one of the stresses of coping with the growth
Yeah,
in this industry is keeping that throughput going. So if you're able to manage that as you grow, I think that's
yeah,
definitely good for sure.
yeah. I'd like to be able to keep this pace up without having too much stress. So yeah,
And it,
see
it
how we go.
sounds to me like you really love screen printing, like the
I
screen
do.
printing
Yeah,
end. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
as your business grows, then is it
Mm.
likely to be you're going to end up hiring people, let's say,
I'd like to
in the
hire
business
someone.
end
Yeah,
more than the screen print end, or
yeah. I'd love to hire even one of my sons if they were interested, but they've got the things going on. But I'd like to
Mm.
teach someone else, someone young, to just keep it going. And yeah, it's seeing it's such a pretty dying trade. But yeah, one day I'd like to employ someone and teach them. Um, yeah, I don't know if doing big runs. I don't want to do huge runs anymore. I feel a bit sorer than I used to.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's tough on the body screen printing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
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 So your arms and elbows and things
Arms.
start to, yeah,
Yeah. And I've got a bit of a shoulder injury, so yeah, that sort of gives way sometimes. So yeah, it would be nice to have someone to take over on big runs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or even
Yeah.
just to kind of play tag and do,
Yeah,
100 each
that's
or
right.
whatever and just keep swapping until
Yeah.
you get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably not loving the business side of it. I prefer to be down in the garage, getting my hands, well, not getting my hands dirty, you don't want that,
Mm.
but
It's the
yeah.
last thing you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
What part of the business don't you like? Just all of the kind of accounts and sales?
Yeah, all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff is, yeah, bit of it. But I'm starting to enjoy it a bit more, and as I'm getting used to it, yeah,
Mm, mm.
yeah, no, it's a lot better.
How was that for
Yeah.
you, Josh, when you got going, that whole kind of business side of it? How did you learn
Mm.
how to do that stuff?
I did a diploma while I was still at school. So I guess I got the formal type teaching, but I still don't think it really equips you for the actual thing, I guess. Um, but I do like the business side of things. I enjoy that, and the sales. Um, but yeah, still so much to learn all the time, and really like we've been really looking at our numbers and stuff the last sort of month or so, and yeah, you can see why you hear those statistics within the first couple of years. A lot of places don't sort of make it all the way through, because you can think you're making money, but you're not actually making money,
Mm,
which is and you got to be making more money than you sort of think you need to make sure you can keep going.
mm. It's true.
Yeah, I haven't made it. Everything I've made so far, I put back into the business, buying equipment,
Mm.
things like so. It'd be nice once I have everything. And yeah,
Start taking the money.
yeah,
But the benefit is that your overheads are zero, right? Apart from your
that's right.
electricity and your labor,
Yeah,
right? It's such a gift to, there aren't many jobs that you can start at home that you can build up to, being a bigger
that's
print
right.
shop or a bigger business. Um,
Yeah,
but you can output a lot from your garage. Like,
yeah,
Mm.
that's right.
it can be very, very good.
Yeah,
I think I said it before again, but there's days when I think, oh, actually, it was quite nice being back being in the garage and just being my daughter and myself. And
yeah,
but I guess we just outgrew it. But there was something kind of less stressful about it because
that's
customers didn't come to the house. They didn't, we
yeah,
didn't have to deal with them that way, and we could, take a break if we wanted, and just wander back into the house. And
mm,
but yeah, I feel like it's a really good industry for starting that way for sure.
yeah,
So what would your long-term sort of ambition be in terms of the scale and size of your business?
yeah. Yeah, I'd like to get a little place in the industrial area there and have a little setup and yeah, and maybe a little showroom or
Yeah.
yeah. I can combine my two businesses together with the earrings. I'd like to have a little space where I can teach workshops and things like that as well.
Yeah, right.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And have you thought
That's right.
about teaching screen printing as a
I have
form of
done.
revenue?
A few years ago, just before COVID hit, I was doing some kids classes in school holidays
Wow.
and things
Awesome.
like that. That was pretty messy, but
Mm.
it was fun. I enjoyed teaching the kids rather than adults. Um, so yeah,
Why is that? Tell us why that is.
I think I just I love. I've always gotten well with kids. Um, the adults classes made me really nervous, where the
Mm.
kids were just great. They just love it, and yeah, it just didn't seem so. Yeah, and the kids they just got a couple of girls taught. They just really got into it, and yeah, so no, I think I just yeah, the kids are good. Yeah,
You ever thought about
but
doing that, Josh? Doing some training to get revenue?
No, I. But I was just sort of wondering then, like, if it's not a bad idea, even like for reaching out to schools just to try and get a bit of pipeline for employees,
Yeah.
like we sort of mentioned, like getting more people involved in the industry, having might not be a bad idea to have people through, and even
mm,
like a little hands-on sort of open house type thing um, might be a cool opportunity to try and at least sow the seed in people's minds. What about you?
No, I've never done it. I've wanted to do it. Again, I'd be kind of anxious about training adults.
yeah,
But I like the idea of when somebody gets enthusiastic about it, comes in and says, "Hey, how does it work? Show us around." It's so
Mm-hmm.
encouraging. Someone really shows an interest in
yeah,
the whole process. And we did have a lady come in once who was just in love with screen printing and I think had maybe done some of her own, just using the screen on top of a t-shirt rather than on a press or something. And she came in and she'd obviously seen presses online or whatever. And there was a job set, I think it was a two-color job set up on the manual press. And I said, let me let you go for it. And
mm,
she was just so excited.
mm,
Um, but yeah, I worry a little bit about, wanting to do that. And with kids, it would be great too.
mm,
And also it kind of getting in the way of normal business, like it would need to
yeah,
be a Saturday or something.
Mm.
Want to kind of have a bunch of people in the warehouse that are stressed, and then some students come in to learn how to screen print, you know. But yeah, I'd really like to do it. Really,
Yeah.
occasionally we do live screen printing, and you get people that just are like mesmerized. You know, they see this thing that spins around and they don't understand. And
Yeah.
often, if it's a kid, we stand them on a box and actually kind of hold the squeegee with them and print, and then they lift the screen and like, oh wow. So I think it would be nice to do more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I did hear of one print shop that do something with the towns, where I forget what they call it, but they have like a Saturday, and they just tell everyone in the town, it's bring a t-shirt, you know, bring one of your own t-shirts, come and print on one of our designs. They kind of all come in and queue up, and they go on the carousel and print, and you know, catch it at the end of the tunnel. I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you do run into the issue of, I don't know if this has happened to you, Chook, but the issue where, you know, someone will come to the press and they'll say, I want one in red, you know, red ink or
Yes.
something, and you've got black ink in there, and you're like,
Yeah.
do you not understand how this
Oh,
works?
yes.
Is that something you've experienced?
Yeah, yeah. Or I don't like that. When I was doing the workshop, I made the screen up for them, and but I don't like that picture, and that's what you've got.
I do
But,
the
So
yeah.
did you show them the whole process? Like
No,
walk them
not
through?
really. I tried. The first class I did, I explained the process, and I just got people just staring at me with their eyes glazing over.
Oh,
And then I realised all they do was they want to print. That's it. They're not interested
they
in
didn't want to
knowing.
know about that part.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
a bit of a nerd when it comes to. I still collect all old screen printing textbooks and stuff.
oh, let's see that. What's that? Show us
Yeah,
that.
it's
Screen
called
process printing by Albert.
yeah
Who is it?
Albert Kozloff.
Kozlov. Wow,
Yeah, so I've
that's
collected a
cool.
few. I've got some 70s ones, but yeah.
That's
So I
awesome.
do bore people with my screen printing knowledge. But yeah, but my TAFE teacher had this when I was a TAFE, and he said it was the Bible.
Yeah,
And
right.
the second-hand bookshop I worked at, I found a copy there. And yeah, no, I just treasure it. But yeah, once I get started talking about the process, I see people getting a little bit bored with the conversation.
Does that
So
happen
yeah.
with your family as well?
Oh yeah, all the time.
It's
Yeah,
like this kind of podcast is a bit like a self-help club in a
it
way
is.
for
yeah.
us to, you know, alcohol's what we would say, Screen Printers Anonymous. We get to kind of share our woes.
That's
Nobody else
right.
wants to know, do they? That's a,
Yeah.
so you do a lot of bands. Are you thinking of other markets that you can get into as well?
Yeah, I like doing my own. I do a bit of printing for myself as well.
Is that for a
Yeah.
clothing brand or?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
because of the earring brand, is Chook. I print the t-shirts that match the earrings.
yeah, wow,
So,
neat.
so that's I'd like to do a bit more of that as well. They,
And
I
how do you
just saw
sell
them.
those? Do you sell them through a market or
I just
online?
do the markets. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
there's a few handmade markets around here, so I take them to that.
That's
And
cool.
yeah,
That's a
sold
good
out in
outlet.
my first run um, at a market this year, so that was good. Yeah, but
That's
yeah,
very cool. Any other markets apart from your own, like maybe
yeah,
breweries or distilleries or
yeah. I just
any
got a job
particular?
for a distillery,
Great.
gin distillery, and that was exciting. So yeah, they were a little bit worrying. The screen printer that was in Yamba, that was one of her customers. He decided to jump ship, and yeah, that's a little bit. Seeing that it's a friend of mine, yeah, but I guess it's business, but still, yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah, and look, if the customer
Yeah,
made the choice, like, you know,
yeah,
up
that's
to them
right.
at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
was a good one to get into everyone, and yeah, it's like a shirt that a lot of travellers buy when they come here. It's very popular. Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
happened to us in town, just talking about competitors. It's a long story, so I'll try and do it quickly, but there was another screen printer here that's been here forever, and they sold the business to a charitable organization working in NDIS, and but they didn't really get any training. And in fact, I went round and said, hey, do you want me to show you how this works and help you out, and you can lean on us? And we had the guys down here for a day, but they sort of didn't or wouldn't, it seemed, progress with the technology. So they had an exposure unit, and they had everything you would need, but they also had a vinyl cutter. And what they would do to create the stencil is they spit it out as a vinyl, weed it out, and stick it to the bottom of the actual screen,
Oh, I've
and just
seen that
print
happen.
straight through that, which is kind of like, it makes for a thick stencil, I suppose. But if you want any kind of serious detail, you're not really going to get it. And so they kind of didn't print well. And then I found out that they were flashing. They thought that just flashing it on the carousel once was enough to cure the ink. So there were lots of jobs, how can I put it politely, that just started coming to us. And then they went bust. And there's lots of, we're in a small town. Probably the same kind of thing happens in Yamba, but some kind of stories about what happened, what happened to the business, but who knows?
Theories.
The truth is, yeah, including, and I actually saw this. I don't think I've said who it is, so I'm being careful, but all their cars suddenly got set alight outside of their place. So it looks very dodgy. Anyhow, long story short, they went bust, and the company that sold the business to them took the equipment back. And we went to see that person who was selling up. They ran a car wrap sign business, all the rest of the stuff, and they were leaving it and going elsewhere. And we were actually looking at the premises they were in, and I said to the fellow, "Oh, you've got all the screen print equipment back that you sold." And he said, "Well, we need to satisfy the customers that they no longer print for." And I said, "Yeah, but they were all with us." And he said, "Yeah, I know." Anyway, the point of the story is, company literally around the corner from here phoned this week and said, "Look, just out of quote professional courtesy, I don't know what that means really, but I get the general idea. We want you to know that we've bought this screen printing equipment. They're a clothing shop, like a workwear clothing shop, and they do embroidery. And we just want you to know, that we're running this, and no hard feelings kind of thing." And I said, "No, it's great. Happy to support you. And to be honest, when someone comes in looking for one garment, we know where to send them." But what tickled me was the guy that had originally sold this kit for an extortionate rate to another company who had then gone bust, who then got the equipment back, had sold it twice.
Oh, what a win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's kind of good that you're leaving town, mate. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Although we have another guy, Tyler, who a shout out to Tyler Fort at the Tea Shack. He lives on what's called Black Mountain, which is about 25 minutes north from here, and he does our overflow printing. So he's a what do you call it? He doesn't really work directly with a customer. What's the correct term? Contract printer.
Contract printer, yeah.
So he does a heap of stuff in Geelong and Melbourne. And he does all our overflow stuff, or anything that, it's going to slow down the big press, to be blunt. And he's great. We love him. He's a very, very qualified printer, and he'll do small numbers. So I guess he's got a bit of competition there as well. But it is tricky when and you say this other printer's a friend of yours as well.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I had her for years. I did some work for her during COVID, actually, when she needed help. But yeah, I think it will be okay. It's just that she's just out of town, just that little bit too far where people don't want to to go
well,
out there. So yeah, but
that's okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I just have to get out of that sort of mentality of of that, and just do the job. But didn't really want to put things on on Instagram that she had done, and that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to be sensitive, but like you said earlier, it is just business, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
And you might lose one of your customers to them, and
I think there's enough work around here to go around for everyone, really. So yeah.
So going to get a website, going to do more marketing, going to do some advertising. It'd be nice if you moved into a warehouse, you said, at some point. In 5 years, what would the dream be like? You know, how many people would you have, or what kind of size? Or
honestly, I'd like to just keep it small, even if it was just enough for my husband and I to both run.
Yeah, right.
And the kids, if they wanted to join in. But I think I'm not really, I don't know if I'd be interested in getting a automatic at the moment. I have used an automatic, that was years ago. We had a Taz, I think it was an 8 colour at my old job. But I would really like to keep the love for screen printing and just have it so it's pretty manageable for myself.
I really respect that, and I'm envious of that. You know, I think that's in a way the kind of goal is to kind of be able to manage it, to keep it, you know, low overheads, nice amount of workflow, enough to earn good money, but not to go kind of crazy and you know start spending money on big kit and things. So I think
that's right.
That's really smart.
See what happens.
So it could be that. At what age are your boys?
My eldest is 23, and then I have a 21-year-old and a 16-year-old. So
right.
They're at a good age. All boys.
All into bands, or
all 2 of them are starting a band together, and my husband's in a band, and my eldest boy, he's I guess you'd say semi-professional skater. He skates in Brisbane. So
what's his name?
His name's Mitch Roberts.
Mitch Roberts, to look him up.
So they've all grown into pretty good boys. So it's time for me to start printing again. Now I wish I started it earlier, but it was. I worked as a sort of a pizza maker for when they were younger, so that was at night time, and similar to screen printing, you're just catching pizzas at the end of a oven instead of t-shirts. So
very dry.
But it'd be nice to just keep steady work and eventually not having to do these little part-time jobs. I'd like to just work full-time for myself. So one day,
no, absolutely, it's definitely doable. All right, we've got a new section in the show. Which Josh, you're a guinea pig. Josh is going to run, called Topical Digression, and just personalizes things a bit more. Go for it, Josh.
I think it'd be interesting, considering you're in a holiday destination, what would be your favorite holiday destination that's not home?
Ooh, wow. Oh, it's funny because when we go on a holiday, we go to a city somewhere. So we usually go, I just love going near the ocean, even though I live by the ocean. I just need, I love going to Crescent Head.
Okay. Is
I
that north?
South.
South, okay.
But if I could go somewhere, I'd go to America. I'd like to do like a music tour of all the, like Nashville and things like that. That would probably be the one.
What about you, Josh? What was your favorite destination?
Holiday destination? I don't even know, to be honest.
You were in the US last year, weren't you?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was it's good for a bit of time. I think I'd like to spend more time. I I'd go there for events, but it's a bit exhausting. I don't even know. I like the coast, but I'm allergic to sand. I just,
Oh, wow.
sand like on things just freaks me out.
Yeah.
Just hate it. But like, we like camping and stuff, and whenever we go camping on the beach and stuff, and there's just like sand and everything, I'm like, what about you, Sam?
Mine's very boring. I think partly because I travel too much in previous jobs, really. But my ideal holiday would be, and was, I guess, when I lived in Scotland, we used to just find a cottage next to a river or something and
Oh, that's
take the
nice.
kids there and just chill out together and go for walks and, just
Mm,
kick back, really.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was younger, we used to live in South Australia, and our like family holiday, we used to go on like a houseboat on the Murray River, and those I reckon were the best ones because you could just like each day if you wanted to drive a bit further up the river, you can, and then you just pull up wherever and have a fish on the side and chill out. That's a pretty good time. We were
That's
relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right. Second question in the topical digression is, what is your favorite food?
Ooh, food. I love just a plate of cheese and crackers and salamis, all that sort of thing. Yeah,
Any
graze.
particular
What are they called?
cheese?
I think it's Mersey Valley. It's like a salt and vinegar cheese. It's
Oh,
really
wow.
good.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Very interesting. Mersey
yeah.
Valley. I'll write that
Anything
down.
savoury like that. Yeah. And Mexican, I really like Mexican. Yeah. How about you guys?
A bit boring in that department. For me, it would just be a curry, probably a Rogan
Oh,
Josh or a
nice.
jalfrezi or something like that. I do like cheese though, since you a good Stilton would be my choice of cheese. I think if I could get one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, Josh?
I get around Subway. Subway's just a
Subway's
Subway
good.
sandwich. Love it. It's just you feel good about it. You don't feel guilty, and yeah, it's always good.
Because it's better for you, you mean, than like a Macca's or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
You
I
don't
love
feel like
Macca's.
yeah.
You're a Macca's fiend,
Yeah.
are you?
I have secret Macca's. I have to hide it from the kids.
That's brilliant.
It was funny though. One day I went and got secret Macca's, and when they started getting cars and stuff, I was lining up McDonald's. Next minute I seen their car and to, to run out. It's like a
Oh,
guilty pleasure.
that's brilliant. Secret Macca's. Yeah, I rather partial to a Macca's, I have to say.
Mm.
But yeah, not so good as Subway. Not so good for me, Subway.
Yamba didn't have a Macca's for a long time. And there were actually protests because the town didn't want
Oh,
them. Yeah. So
Oh,
that was
wow.
pretty funny. Yeah.
They
And
obviously succeeded in getting one though.
we did, yeah. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Wisdom
have you
prevails.
have you been to any like do they still have the screen printing like expeditions like expos and things that yearly, or have you been to anything like that?
I've been to one in Sydney at
Yeah.
Olympic Park a few years ago.
Right.
It was very small. It was very underwhelming.
Was it?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was huge. There's very little screen printing at it. It was nearly all digital printing and digital
Yes,
engraving,
right.
and it was amazing seeing all that kit. But yeah, it was a bit disappointing, really. That's the only
Right.
one I've ever had anything to do
Yeah.
with. Are there others that you know of?
I think there's one coming to the Gold Coast, but it looked the same. It looked like it was a lot of DTF, DTG, and things like that.
Mm.
But when I was back in the day, I look forward to it every year to go and just look at the automatics and things like that. But yeah, I hadn't been to one for a long time, and I wondered if they're still going. But yeah,
mm.
Do you know anything about them, Josh?
I have heard some whispers of possibly something on the uh on the horizon for a bit of a event in Australia.
Okay.
So hopefully that becomes a thing, and we can sort of make it, like a yearly thing would be pretty cool because, I think there's a bit of a spot for it now. I think everyone in the industry is pretty keen on something in Australia that's domestic and catch up. So I think it would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be good. I really feel, I think I said it's at the top of the show, but we really do need to kind of blow those trumpets a bit for our industry and get. So if there's any people
Yeah.
listening that want to get involved in that, get involved, get in touch, see what we can do. I think I said it before. When you get older, you use the phrase, I think I said it before a lot because you don't really know whether you
Yeah,
did or not.
can't remember if you said it.
But I'd really like to get like a 2 to 3 minute video segment of all the screen printers we know, just saying, hey, I'm Chook. I run Ink by Chook. This is screen printing. This is why I love screen printing. This is what's cool about it. Just 3 or 4 things like that. And just get a whole load of screen printers, just put together one long video and just send that to schools, put it up online or whatever, and just say, look, this is our industry. These are the people. According to, we were talking about Howard from Leapfrog Machinery earlier. According to him, there's about 1,500 screen printers in
I
Australia.
wondered how many it was.
Yeah. Although
and
he
I
has
find
said
a lot
I
of
thought.
I find a lot of people still don't understand what we do when I try to explain about the setup fee, and I think they think we instantly can just print something. And I mean, for years, I'd say, well, people would ask me what I was doing. I'd say I was a screen printer, and they'd say, oh, that's a cute job.
Yeah.
So I still get that a bit. And oh, how's your little job going?
Yeah. And then they see you doing 100 shirts an hour or whatever and start to realize it's a bit different. Yeah, it is
that's
about
right.
opening the inside up to the outside somehow. But I guess Instagram's a good way of doing that as well. But it would be good to get more screen printers in Australia doing that. And wow, it'd be good to get a show. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Where did you hear that, Josh? Just some other screen printers or?
Yeah. I've just heard a little bit about it. I don't know how much of a thing it is yet, so I won't say anything, but
Okay.
I was pushing for it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I think that'd be a great opportunity. And hopefully everyone, if it does become a thing, everyone gets behind it and then, can continue for years to come then.
Yeah, and talk to the vendors as well, Funny enough, Shane from Leapfrog Ink Spot is visiting here on Monday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing some
I
kind of
think
tour.
Shane went to the same tape as I did at Ultimo.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I did have a quick conversation many years ago when I called him to buy some screens, but yeah.
He's a good guy, knows his stuff for sure.
Yes.
Brilliant customer service as well.
Oh, it comes so quick. Even here at 2 days, I get ink sometimes, so that's pretty good. Yeah.
He's really sound. So he's popping in on Monday and might rattle his cage a bit and say, hey, come on, you vendors. I know that a lot of them are in competition with one another, but it's, I think it's a big enough market. They're obviously all surviving. To get them together to say, yeah, let's organise something. There is an association, isn't there? Gosh, I wish I knew more about this. They occasionally write to me about there's always an event at Piermont in Sydney. They put on a dinner or something. It's ridiculously expensive and just looks a little bit kind of hobnobbish. So I've never.
Is it like just a general graphic, like your signs and all that side of things too, or?
It's specifically printing, from what I remember.
Okay.
But I need to go find it. Maybe bring it up for the next show. But we need something. I really think we need something.
So I wonder if there's many other girls out there that are screen printing as well.
Well, I said that, but in the preamble, we need more girls in this business. Well, there probably are out there. You're right. We just don't know them. I mean, definitely this show has been male dominated. If you look at all the others, there are ladies that come and speak about their businesses, but not enough. So yeah, that's
Even when I did my apprenticeship, there was for the 3 years there was only 2 girls in the class.
yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. So I was the only girl at work, the only girl at TAFE a lot of the time. So yeah, but,
We definitely need more because it does have a different voice to it. You know, you bring a different angle to business, a different angle to screen printing, which perhaps isn't so bullish like certainly my attitude in business. All right, favorite food. What's the next one, Josh? Topical digression number 3.
Ooh, favorite book. What's
Favourite?
the go-to? Mm.
Oh, it's funny. I used to work in a bookshop. Didn't read a
Ah,
lot, but I like reading music biographies mainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite amongst the ones you've read?
The Motley Crue one, The Dirt.
Motley Crue.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah, that was a good one. The Ozzy Osbourne one, that was hilarious. That was,
I bet.
yeah, really good. Yeah, anything music related, I'll read. Yeah.
So you
What about
like
you
that
guys?
kind of heavy music as well? You
I do.
that rock?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
rock girl. Yeah.
How about you, Josh?
my favorite book, probably I read boring books. I haven't read a book. Well, I listen to audiobooks now more,
Yeah.
but I really liked the book when I was a bit younger. I think it's called The Crossroads by Mark Donaldson, the guy that got a VC.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really interesting story from sort of, I guess it sort of shows that it doesn't matter where you sort of come from or what you're like, there's always sort of a way up. So I think that's a really good book and good autobiography.
That
Yeah,
sounds
I know.
good. For me, I'm avid reader, so I've got a few, but I think I'll just narrow that to one at the moment. There's a book called Woman in White by a guy called Wilkie Collins, who's a contemporary of Dickens. He wrote another book called The Moonstone, which is regarded as the sort of first whodunit book,
Yeah.
ever back in the day. But he just writes so beautifully, and like obviously some of the ideas are very staid and somewhat 19th century, but he's just a really good writer, and his stories are very captivating. So he'd probably be up there. But also Wuthering Heights, which is, of course,
Oh,
most
yeah.
people's favorite novel. It
Yes.
seems is a remarkable book.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a slightly different last topical digression question. What is the best compliment you've received in business or in your business, I guess?
Oh. Well, it's not really a compliment, but I was recognised on the street the other day, and I was pretty happy
Yeah,
about
wow.
that. But someone had seen me on Instagram, and I have a job for her on Monday. But yeah, probably that she reached out to me on the street.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, that was
That's really
probably
nice.
it. Yeah.
Did
How about you
she
guys?
reach out to you? Did you have a job from her before she saw you in the street or after?
After, yeah,
Okay.
she wanted to get in contact with me, and I was at the ATM, and she said, "Are you the Chook that screen prints?" And I said, "Yeah, that's me." And so yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, so how about you guys?
I don't get any compliments. That's basically it. I did see
Uh,
a lady wearing a t-shirt that I printed, and I said, "Oh, like it was for a cafe or something, I think, but somewhere out of town. Like could have been anywhere." And I stopped her and said, "Oh, where'd you get that shirt?" And she said, wherever it was. And I said, "I printed that." And she kind of looked at it and went, "You did an all right job."
oh,
Which I thought, well, that's a compliment. I'll take
that's a
that. Yeah.
Take it.
It's kind of freaky when you see one of your shirts from
yeah,
wherever, you know,
that's right. Yeah.
does happen. How about you, Josh? Sure you get loads of compliments.
Oh yeah, all the time. I guess it'd be the same sort of thing. I've seen a couple of the stuff we've done. out in the wild, I guess. And I think that's probably the best. Just seeing people actually wearing it. It's still going strong. If it printed a year or so ago and it's still looking good, I was like, great. Yeah, I think that's the best. Is the sort of on the down low. For people that you wouldn't expect to get like a referral from, getting people coming in touch with you. So I think that's the best. Just quiet compliments.
It is cool when you see it, and you kind of come back to the basic thing of what we're doing, and the artistic side of it is putting art onto a shirt or onto earrings as well, in your case, Chook. And actually they're going to be worn and used, and the art is doing something out there in the community. It's a pretty neat job, really.
Yeah, that's when I'm printing, I'm always thinking, oh, maybe this will be someone's favorite shirt one day. I've always thought that. That's something that gives me makes me happy.
That's a good way of thinking about it. Maybe this will be someone's favorite shirt. Do you ever, print something for someone else and think, I really like that, and add another T for yourself? Have you ever done that?
I have done that.
I've done that. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
But I'll get it on my favorite shirt rather. Like, it won't necessarily be the same as the customer's ordered.
You put on a classic or whatever.
Different.
That's what I do. That's hilarious.
Years ago, I printed a shirt for a hardcore band called Toe to Toe, and I accidentally wrecked one of their shirts. Oops, I didn't mean to drop that little bit of ink on there.
Brilliant. Yeah. That's cool. Let me just check questions. We've spoken about expansion and more help, where you'd like to be in a few years' time. What do you think in starting your business? And you said it was March, is that right?
March, yeah.
What do you think is the most important lesson that you've learned in screen printing and starting your business? Both of those things.
Oh, that's a good question. I've learned a lot on the podcast, but I really rush into everything. I want everyone to get their jobs done like in the next 2 weeks, and my husband's always saying, slow down, just that's the biggest lesson I've learned, to slow down.
Okay, that's a really good one.
Just take your time, and I don't have to jump every time someone emails me, and that's my thing. Just slow down. That's the thing I've learned.
It's a really good lesson for everyone, perhaps even in everything, in life, to pace yourself, especially when you get tired. There's this sort of frenetic thing that comes over me when I get tired. I just have to, get this done, get moving, get this done, do that and everything. And then you kind of fall over.
It's when you make mistakes too, when you rush. I know I do.
I'll say. All right, tips or traps to watch out for. If somebody was getting started, what kind of tips do you think you'd give them, or traps to watch out for?
With printing itself, or
business printing, any aspect of it.
In the printing side, I just be what would I say? It's I just go be true to yourself, and and stick to your guns, and don't underestimate yourself, and price the correct. Because sometimes when I first started, I didn't know my worth, and I was quoting way too low. But now I've sort of learnt that I've got to charge what I'm worth, and
believe in yourself in that way.
Just back myself a bit more.
Not be afraid of. Like, I remember we did a podcast with I forget his name, but it's Rock Hill Screen Printing in Charlotte, North Carolina. I think actually they're in South Carolina, so south of Charlotte. And I asked him that question, and he said something like, don't worry about every other screen printer. Don't worry about the size of their shop or the kit that they're using. Just do your thing. I think that's really, really good advice. It sounds similar. Do you think there's any misconceptions for you in when you started business? You know, that
Yeah.
there are
A lot of
ideas that
people,
actually weren't true when you started doing it?
yeah, still a lot of people say, oh, do people still get things screen printed? I've had that a lot. Um, a lady across the road, she asked what I was doing in the garage, and she said, oh, I wouldn't think people were still, I thought it was all digital now. And I said, no, we're still out here doing this. But yeah, that's a misconception I've been finding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And
know that it's a technology, but it's somehow old or outmoded, which is
yeah,
amazing, right? Because
that's right.
fundamentally it is the same technology, and yet it's still the pinnacle of apparel decoration.
That's right.
Mm.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Do you do any
Yeah.
DTF or anything as well?
No,
Or
I haven't
no?
got into that side of things. I know Soul Sports, where I did my trade, they're all digital now. They're all
Wow.
direct to garment.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. So I've just what I've seen them following, they don't do any printing anymore.
A
Yeah.
shame. A real
Yeah.
shame.
Yeah. I just don't like the feel or, yeah. But I would like to have it there just in case someone wanted a one off or yeah, they just wanted to see what the shirt was going to look like before they were printed. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not interested in going down that line
No,
of things.
no.
Yeah,
I feel the same about DTG.
yeah,
I also don't know whether it, you know, because it's ostensibly a CMYK technology with a white base and obviously a
mm,
pre-treating chemical, how close it's ever going to be to, you know, a 4 or 5 color print,
yeah,
anyway. But I guess it can give people an idea.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I'm not keen on DTG. How about you, Josh?
No,
You ever done anything with DTG?
DTG itself, not well. When I That's how I sort of, I guess, I got into it a little bit. Had a clothing brand and it was done with DTG. It's great for that sort of thing, like print on demand type stuff. Definitely got a spot, I guess. But yeah,
mm,
if you don't have to do it, I don't think it's really the go. Most of the stuff that I had done didn't necessarily last that long.
yeah,
But it probably almost has a better feel than DTF in a
yes,
way.
definitely, yeah,
But yeah, I think that sort of one-off sort of print on demand type thing is definitely its place,
yeah,
especially for, it seems like it takes a long time if you're pre-treating and
mm,
doing all the rest. It's a fair bit to it.
yeah.
Don't like all
I'd
those
like to
chemicals.
print some transfers again. I did a lot of transfers back in the day on basketball uniforms and things like that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind printing a few transfers again. Yeah, I didn't mind doing that job. But yeah, funny enough, I think back to I printed the Australian Boomers team. I think
Oh,
it was 90, might have been 96. I'm not sure what year it was, but I found a picture of it. I was showing my kids, and that was all done by transfer. And I think they probably washed off in the first few
mm.
washes. But yeah, that was a good job.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah,
it's amazing. I
yeah,
mean, that's, you know, still a very vibrant technology which is growing and becoming more sophisticated, and yet
yeah.
was being used in the 90s as well, you know,
It
like,
was, yeah. I
yeah.
remember Wilflex came out and taught me how to print on transfers. And
Mm.
yeah, that would have been about 95, I think, 96.
Wow.
Yeah, felt like new technology to us then. Yeah, even plasticine was pretty new to me back then. I remember coming into work and my boss said, I've got this ink that won't dry on the screen. I couldn't believe it because we worked in Penrith, so it was really cold and really hot.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, wasn't great conditions for water base. But yeah, yeah, it's
But you
funny to think back now.
still prefer water based, even so.
I like water
Yeah.
based, yeah, yeah. I actually, that was one of the questions I was going to ask about was plastisol with polycotton blends. I ordered some Street Fighter the other day, and that was for the blend. But can you also use that on 100% cotton, or would you not?
Yeah,
You
you
would
can,
do that? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. What we often do is get a low bleed. We don't use the Rutland one. Street Fighter is Rutland, isn't it?
Yes, Rutland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a Union one, I think,
Right.
and we usually put a bit of stretch additive in it as well,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
just to kind of loosen the ink a bit on the garment. But yeah, we probably will. Well, we do. We occasionally do use that on cotton. 100% cotton seems to be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a lot thicker too back in the day. Yeah, when I got it, I thought, oh, I actually look in my wedding photos when I was printing a lot, and I'm holding the flowers, and I've got these huge muscles from screen printing. But yeah, the ink was so much thicker. Yeah. So
And
I've
it
seen a
still
big
is.
improvement.
It's still pretty thick though compared
Pretty
to
thick.
normal base whites.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, but nobody likes printing on polyester or cotton blends.
No.
It's just
Mhm.
terrifying, isn't it? Is this
Yeah.
going to work? So you
I
mentioned,
have.
sorry,
So,
go on.
no,
It's
you
okay.
go. It's fine.
I was just going to ask, you mentioned earlier on that you don't like the business end as much as you enjoy the screen printing. But if you
Yeah.
had a pet peeve across the entire business, what would it be, do you think? Or what do you really hate doing in the business?
Probably invoicing and
Thank you.
quoting.
You take
Yeah,
payment in full before you start the job?
I've been taking 50%, but a few customers have just said, "No, I'll just give you the whole lot."
Yeah.
So that's been pretty good. Yeah, I haven't had a problem with that. I'm finding charging 50% has been a bit confusing with the invoicing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I would like to go into getting 100% in the future, just so it just seems easier that way.
And what is it you
Yeah.
don't like? Why is that a peeve, doing invoices? What is it you don't like about it?
I don't sit still very long. I think I've got the bit of an ADHD brain. I like getting out there, moving around, and
Yeah, right.
that's the main thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just sitting still,
Yeah.
sitting down. Yeah, but now as I'm doing more and more of it, I'm getting used to it. So,
Yes,
and
that's it.
yeah, talking about money with customers, that's that's another thing. Yeah, but no, all these things will come. So
Yeah.
yeah. Now I get used to all that. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's right. It's a weird thing, isn't it? You start a business, you start it in your garage, and then you take money off people, and you kind of think,
Mm,
okay, this is a bit unusual.
yes.
How does this work? And obviously you want to take the money off them to do the job, but it does
Mm,
feel a little bit strange. But I really, really like what you said earlier about backing yourself and
yeah.
committing to it, because what you're doing is an art, it's industry, it's commercial, it's satisfying a need for a customer, and even their customer you may never even meet, and it has a value, like you said earlier, it has a worth.
Mm,
You have a worth,
yeah.
and growing that and being, it's the kind of I forget, but it's a kind of syndrome, an artistic syndrome of, most artists aren't great at business because their focus
Yeah.
is art and they have a love and
That's
passion
right.
for what they do, and they're expressing themselves through their art.
Mm,
And when they sell a painting for any, or whatever their medium is, for any amount of money, they have this kind of guilt complex.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's an artistic syndrome, and but apparently they get used to it, right? Do you know what I mean? Because they go
Yeah.
hungry, and the galleries
That's
take
right.
50% of the money, right? So I think it's a good driver, but to recognize the worth of a great artist is where it's at, and being able to
Yeah.
kind of sell that. I like
That's
your
right.
brand. I really like the
Oh,
brand.
thank you.
It's very
Oh, thank.
vibrant, colorful. And this I know may sound sexist, so forgive me for it, but
Oh, that's okay.
it's got a feminine
Yeah, that's what
aspect to
I'm
that
going for.
vibrancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks
It,
for saying. I've just got a new logo actually. When I was listening to the podcast, a couple was it Matt from
That's
he was in
good.
the Gold Coast. Good.
Heaps good.
Heaps good. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
heaps good.
He
Matt.
was talking about the little characters, and he mentioned Joel, the
Pringle, I
artist
think his name
Pringle.
is.
That's it. Yeah,
Yep.
I got him to do a little caricature of me. So,
Nice.
yeah, and I've done the logo pink and aqua, and I thought, oh, that's sort of my branding. So, yeah,
It's a
yeah, I was
standout
really happy with
brand.
it.
It is.
Yeah. Oh,
And
thanks. Yeah.
a bit like Matt's, it's connected to your personality and it
Yeah.
comes across. And I feel that's so important in business
Oh,
today
thanks.
and
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
outside of it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm sort of pretty happy person, and I think that comes through in the brand as well. So, yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully,
nice.
yeah, that's what it's showing. Yeah. I was a bit concerned about the name at first, but I have a lot of people think it's the tattooist. They think, are you tattooing now? But yeah,
Yeah, I guess inked can be construed that way.
yeah.
Well, you can have that as a sideline. I mean, there's nothing to stop you.
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't want
tattooing.
that.
That would be very, very different.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we wrap up, any questions you've got for us? Final closing
I
thoughts?
covered it. That's about it. Oh, my husband's got a question for you. He wanted to know, is there any videos you've seen on YouTube that explain Illustrator better? He's finding gaps in the videos. He'll go to do something and then they won't explain the whole step. Yeah. Have you heard of anyone that's sort of explains things better?
I'll start with you, Josh.
I get this guy, like, what's his name? Not on YouTube, but he does like reels of different Illustrator things. And I picked up some good tips from him. Like Barnard Co or something, I think his Instagram username is something like that. Honestly, I haven't watched that much like actual YouTube videos. My extent of what I can do on Illustrator is somewhat limited. I can do what I need to do, and that's about it.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
I think I learned everything I know on Illustrator by one person, and I don't know his name, but it'll be easy to find. But we use a company called Skillshare. You familiar with them? They're like an
I was
online
gonna
training
say, is that
Okay.
who I think was it Lee Stewart used to push their stuff? Like, say he used them or something.
possible. I know that Cam Irvin used them as well.
And maybe that was where it was from.
And he's a Kiwi guy. He's awesome. And he has like a beginner and a intermediate and advanced course. And you get to interact with him because he kind of sets your homework and you submit it and he'll
Oh, okay.
Oh,
critique it and send it back, which is really cool.
Mm.
So check out Skillshare. I think with Illustrator, I had design skills in originally what was called PageMaker, which maybe Chook, you might remember that, but I suspect Josh, that was before. So it was an Adobe
never heard of
product.
it.
Yeah, Adobe
Mm.
PageMaker. And it was some big print houses that were doing books and posters and things like that. And then Photoshop came out and I migrated to that. And then when Illustrator came out and looked at that, I was like, this should be identical in form or at least shortcuts, concepts. But of course, it can't be. It is very different to Photoshop, but of course, it's vector, so it's great. But I reckon that there's a point where you get to with Illustrator where it all starts to really click together.
Right.
And so just keep going with it. And look, if you get stuck and you can't find anything, send me an email in case I may not
Thank
know
you.
the answer, but
Right. Oh, thank
happy
you. Yeah.
to show you what we do and how we do that stuff. But the thing about it is, I think, like I say, you get to that point, and not that you know everything at all because it's colossal, but you know how to resolve problems
Yeah.
when things are happening and how to make them work. But I do 90% of the artwork here, and I really enjoy it. But I regularly, I say regularly, once a week maybe, someone will come in and go, "Are you sure you've choked this underbase?" Or, this doesn't appear to work here, or whatever. And you think, "Oh no." and you go back and resolve it. But yeah, I think that's probably the best resource. So I can't remember his name. I'll find out afterwards. I'll send you an email.
Oh, thank
But
you.
yes, skillshare.com, and he's a Kiwi guy and he's brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of those courses might even be free, like the beginners one might be
Right.
free or something. I'm not sure.
Okay. I
Yeah.
know, is it GJS in Sydney? They were running a few courses,
Yeah,
an
right.
illustrator. Yeah. I haven't seen anything advertised for a while, but I could always get in contact with them too.
Mm.
Yeah.
That might be better because, I mean, what you need is someone in Illustrator doing separations,
Yeah,
the screen
that's
printing
right.
specifically.
Yeah.
That's what you need. But yeah, my friend in the UK who's coming over, so he's starting the British version of our business this year, and he's coming over in the end of next month for a few weeks. He's a Photoshop guy. He knows Photoshop. You know, he's a photographer and so on. And I said, you need to learn this product, and gave him access to our Skillshare account. And I got a text the other day. Yeah, I'm learning it. Like it's not instantly
He
translatable
thought it was
from
just going to be
Photoshop.
the same thing.
So yeah, it's definitely worth doing. So he's learning it that way as well.
It's
So
probably something I wished I learnt a lot more of when I was working with Soul Sports. So they did train me a little bit. It's all changed now, but yeah, I still would have preferred to be down printing. And every time I'd get up, come and do this artwork. Oh, okay. I was never interested in it, and I wish I had have listened a bit more. But yeah, I can't even remember what we learnt artwork side in TAFE. I think it was more, the ruby and cutting things out. Everything was done by hand. So
wow,
yeah, it's
really
crazy how
changed,
much it's
isn't it?
changed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
had big cameras that used to print out the negative. So yeah, I feel like a dinosaur.
But that's the art of it. There's an
Yeah,
art still going on in that. And
yeah,
I think that's got so much control, even though it's a little bit slower to actually get it
yeah.
working. Yeah.
I did really enjoy printing on flatbeds and paper and everything like that at TAFE too. But
That's neat.
yeah. But
Very
yeah,
neat.
that was an interesting course because I didn't learn textile printing till probably third year. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, my bosses probably thought, what are we sending her to TAFE for? She hasn't done anything on fabric. Yeah, so that was a little frustrating. Yeah, it was all flatbeds and glass and all sorts of things. Yeah.
Well, look, stay in touch. You know,
Will do,
let's
yeah.
try. I don't know how to get everyone together, or to get everyone's voices together at least. But even if we're able to get a bit more noise made about our industry in this country, and arrange maybe even a meetup at some point, I think that would be
Yeah.
really, really good.
Mm.
Well, Chook, Inked by Chook, thank you so
Thanks.
much for coming on the show. It's
No
been a
problem.
real
Thanks for having.
breath of fresh air getting a lady's voice in this show as well.
Yeah.
But also,
thanks.
as I said earlier, the vibrancy of your brand and yourself, and it's really a standout in the market. So
Oh, thank you.
all the best
Yeah,
to
and
you.
thanks for everything I've learned with the podcast. It's been great.
Well, there's some good ones out there. There's some really,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you listen to like the Shirt Show and any
I
others
listened
at
to
all?
Squeegee and Ink,
Oh yeah,
the English one. I really like
yeah.
that. I haven't the Shirt Show. I can't get into it. They seem to talk a lot before, and and I lose interest. And I might just have to fast forward it till when they start talking about printing. But
I think we all do that.
yeah,
I don't know. Do you do that, Josh? Do you fast forward to when the guest comes
I
on?
I stick it out.
Do you?
you do.
You're a hardcore
Yep,
listener.
I'm a
Yeah.
hardcore.
So I'm all caught up with you guys, and I'm caught up with the Squeegee and Ink. So I might start the other ones now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chessie.
church.
I've met Chessie. In fact, I did a manual screen printing kind of training thing with her a few years ago, and she sadly has stopped doing those podcasts. She's got her own
Oh,
clothing
yeah.
brand, and there's a couple that kind of really
Right.
working on that, it seems, and just taking their pick on other things. So sadly, she stopped that. I
Yeah.
really recommend, and I'm always plugging them, I know, but what are they called again? The Chippy Tea podcast.
Oh, okay.
Or
Yep.
two Brits. Partly, I mean, I don't know if Danny's listening, but if you are, we're getting a bit sick of hearing about MHM, mate, because it's become a little bit MHM centric lately, because Danny got a big automatic press with them. But prior to that, and I'm sure they get back to it, they really spend quite a lot of time talking about the mechanics of screen printing, and I've learned a lot from that podcast.
Yeah.
Do you listen to any others at all, either of you?
I like the Printavo one.
Yes,
the
I've
sort of
just started
business
listening
wise.
to that. Yeah.
That's good.
That's great.
Good one. Yep.
Yeah, I have seen that one. I usually when I'm cleaning the motel, that's when I get my podcast fix then. So it's good.
It's a good thing about podcasts. You can go for a walk, or you can work, or
Yeah.
Lydia who works on the press here, listens to podcasts all the time,
Right.
while
Yeah.
she's working, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again,
No
and
problem. Thanks for
we'll be in
having me.
touch. Yeah,
Yeah. No
and all the
worries.
best going upwards.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exciting, and I'm sure it'll
See where it
expand.
takes me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
you won't get so much work that you get really stressed. Being able
Yeah.
to manage that growth
I'd like
is key.
to keep the lifestyle I have at the moment. It's pretty cruisy, so
Yeah,
yeah, spend lots of
Way
time
to
with the
do it.
boys. Yeah,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah, nice to meet you guys, and
yeah.
yeah,
It's been a pleasure.
no problem.
All right,
Okay.
take care now.
Thank you. You too.
Catch
See
you
you
later,
later.
Chantal. Cheers.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.